Michael Nagy here with Jiggy Jag TV and DiscoveringBands.com, and I'm here with the band Disciples of Verity. How you guys doing today?
Very good.
Doing great.
So good.
Awesome, doing good. Now, you guys just dropped a new single, and it's awesome. So you want to tell us a little about that?
Sure. It's it features Phil Demo from Machine Head Violence. I don't know, what else to say about it besides,
It's a good
whatever.
song.
It's a good song.
It's a good song. Check it out.
I don't know. You could basically get it anywhere right now. It just dropped probably 3 days ago. So I think it was featured first on Pure Grain Audio, but now it's available on all mediums.
I think there's a video too, right?
Yeah, there's also a
cool
video. And
Yeah, we just got a new video out, so that was good to go along with it.
Awesome. So tell us a little about the meaning of the song.
George?
That might be a Corey question, honestly.
Yeah, it's actually a Corey question, more, Corey Glover question, but it's called Lying to Myself. I mean, it's basically kind of self-explanatory, but I'm sure it has a deeper meaning to Corey than it would to me, you know what I mean? Basically, I wrote the song. We did most of the recording at my house, and then, so, like I said, as far as the meaning of the song, that's really more of a Corey Glover question, as far as the lyrics are concerned. He wrote, 95% of the lyrics. Yeah.
Now, did you guys ever think the band would come to be what it is? Because I know it just started off as a fun project, and now it turned into this, so.
As far as me coming into the fold, George called me up at the beginning of the summer, and their guitar player just quit, and he asked me if I wanted to join into it, and I was like, hell yeah, because, me and George are good friends, and he's been playing me the songs they've been writing over the last year or 2 years, and I was like, wow, this shit's really good, and when he asked me, I wanted to jump at it, so I'm glad that it's turned into what it has, it's cool.
Yeah. Same basic thing happened with me. He gave me a call one day like, hey, I've got this music ready to go. Do you want to play? So being someone who didn't necessarily contribute a lot to the music, I still appreciate it and enjoy it, and I do like to play it live. So, you can't always say that with a band that asks you to come in and, be a hired gun for the most part. But so far this has happened twice with George already, with Negative Sky, the other band that we play in. That's how he got me involved. So he's on a roll. He's on a roll with writing music that I like.
Now, live right now, how are people taking it? Because I know you're just starting off playing live, so seeing some crowd reactions.
The crowd response has been incredible so far. I mean, obviously this will be our third show under our belt, Obviously, we're planning on to do more, touring in the spring and summer. Corey Glover has to go out and do some other things with the Bowie experience thing and a couple Living Color dates. But after that, he's free. So, we're starting to look at some tour dates for, April, May-ish, and, jumping on some bills and stuff like that. Lots of prospects, lots of talk of things going on as far as more touring is concerned, but it's a thing that's definitely going to happen for sure.
So like a full U.S. tour.
I can't say whether it's going to be U.S. or Europe or whatever, but I'm sure that there's going to be extensive touring throughout the year for sure. Yeah.
So as I say, being in different bands and different projects, you must have to balance your time right to be able to make this all work, right?
100%. I mean, it's basically, I guess the most, anybody that is a slave to, the schedule would have to be Corey Glover, because he is involved in Living Color and the Bowie thing. But I think the Bowie thing wraps up, and then, there's lots of time for touring after that, which is only a couple months. And the Living Color kind of falls in between a couple of those dates. While the Bowie thing's going on, he's actually going to do a couple Living Color things and then come back to the Bowie thing. So it's all basically inclusive in a small package there. And yeah, he's
what
a busy
guy.
I mean, when you're as talented as he is, and you've won as many, he's got 2 Grammys, and the guy's amazing, right? So obviously he's a high commodity. We're just really happy that he enjoys this material enough to be a part of this situation. I mean, to go back to that first initial question when you were asking about whether I thought it was going to be anything. Basically this is my baby, right? So I did a lot of the writing, and I would say 80% of the writing I did, and other guys contributed. Dan did contribute to the record as well. Corey did, and Pierce, and without these guys involved, it wouldn't have been anything. So this thing basically started out in a snowstorm that happened in New Jersey when me and Corey Glover were in California. And so we were sitting down having some tacos and, bullshitting why we couldn't get our flights because everything's shut down, and, the East Coast, and, he couldn't get back to New York. I couldn't get back to New Jersey. And, we started bullshitting about, music or whatever. And I started showing him some stuff that I was working on. And I was like, hey, I would really just love for you to do one song with me, And he was like, yeah, hell yeah, this is killer. So he came down and he did one song, and then he listened to the other shit, and I was like, yo, why don't you come down and do some more? Let's make this a record, And I think that he was so happy with what was going on, because I believe that he really wanted, and I can't speak too much for him because I don't want to speak out of turn, but he was so enamored with the fact that he was able to do something that was completely different from any other thing that he has done. Before. It's much heavier. It's like adding melodic vocals to something that's completely, out of his realm of comfortability. You know what I mean? Which, I don't know. With a guy like that talent, who's saying what's comfortable for him, because he seems to fit in any situation. You know what I mean? He's done Broadway movies, friggin', so. For me, I was just so happy to have him do one song, and then when it turned into a record, I was like, wow. And then it turned into hey, let's make this a live thing, and let's make it real, because we felt so strongly about the material and the way everything was going that we just didn't feel like it wouldn't do any justice if we didn't actually bring it, what I mean, to people. And so, it's just been a landslide of good things happening, and it's just, they've been falling into place. It's not like, we haven't really been seeking, people and trying and asking and begging, people, it's just all been falling in our lap, and I, not that, we're done with that, you know what I mean, because I would love for a lot more things to fall in my lap, like $1 million or something, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. So it's been a roller coaster of great things that's been happening, and hopefully it continues, and if the people love it, and if people keep buying it and keep liking it, and it'll grow to a level where we're gonna bring more and more and more and more, and so it's really just up to the people. So buy the shit.
Hear that, everyone? Now, this record's pretty big. You have a lot of big collaborations on there, so you want to tell everyone about that?
Sure. We got Morgan Rose from Seven Dust. Got him through a friend of mine. So Michael Smitty Smith, introduced me to him, and, I've always been a huge Seven Dust fan. Basically, everybody on this record are people that I really admire as musicians and people, and they're just really awesome, nice guys. You know what I mean? Phil Demo,
and girls.
And girl, yes. Tara McLeod is on it from Kitty. So, all of these people are people that I've always looked up to. Jeff Loomis. I mean, what can you say about that guy? I swear to God, if you rip his arm apart, I think he's mechanical in there. He's like bionic or some shit, because the way he plays is like no other. In my opinion, probably one of the top 5 guitar players ever to play, So to have him on the record, and Morgan Rose, which is, is a huge Seven Dust, even, Mark can tell you, because he's known me forever, back in the day, there's been no other band that I looked up to, you know what I mean? I just loved everything about him. So, then we got Joe Guerrari, who's Guerrari. I always say his name. I think it's Guerrari. He's an Ernie Ball solo guy, really shredder. So, you know, he's on the record, and then JJ from our previous band, Negative Sky, he's on a record, who's another super shredder, you know. So these are all people that I've looked up to, you know what I mean? And like I said, also Tara McLeod. So
Phil.
Still awesome. She, you know.
Phil Demo, yeah.
Phil Demo, and so, you know, I mean, for me, when I picked out the songs that they would play on, I specifically had these people in mind to do them. You know, this wasn't just like a random potluck. Hey, you pick that ticket out of there. If you get the ticket, you get to play the solo. You know what I mean? You get to play the drums on it. No, these were things that were actually thought about. You know what I mean? Like with them in mind. You know, so to have them all just say yes. You know, for me, I mean that's incredible. You know, because they're all people that I've looked up to. You know.
Yeah. So if you guys end up doing a follow-up, you think you'll do the same process with the collaborations and stuff? Because it's really cool.
I don't know. I mean, you know, I got these two guys, and this dude shreds, and this dude shreds. So, you know, maybe I'm sure that we'll probably get some people. You know, maybe we'll go. You know, with more vocalists. You know, maybe we'll get some other people involved, and you know, there's lots of. Maybe there's a percussionist out there we want to. I don't know yet. You know what I mean? So. It's always nice to have your friends be a part of what you do, and that's basically what this thing's been about so far. You know, these guys are all my friends. You know, so I wanted to get my friends involved because I love them all. You know, they're all great people. They're all great musicians, and that's basically why I chose to do that route. You know, to begin with. You know, at first it started out with one, and I was like, hey, I would love him to do something. Hey, I would love him. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit, right?
Yeah, anything's possible. We'll see what happens in the future, you know?
Yeah, just see where this goes.
Whenever you have an opportunity to put an A-lister on your album, it's like sometimes you're like, yeah, I should probably do that. You know what I mean? It definitely draws a little more attention, and, people just look at it in a different light. You know, so it makes sense, but we'll see what we do in the future.
Yeah, definitely. So now if people want to find you guys online, look you up, how do they do that?
Google search Disciples of Verity.
Yeah, it's everywhere right now. You know, like I said, you can get it on Spotify, Amazon Music, ask your Alexa at home, to listen to Disciples of Verity, request us on your TV if you want, you know what I mean? It should be available everywhere right now. So, as far as, we have Facebook and Instagram and Disciples of Verity Grooves on Instagram.
If you want to find it, you will.
Yeah, if you just want to Google it, you'll find it very easily.
Yeah.
Cool. So all the social medias basically. So cool.
We got it covered.
Awesome. Well, it was good having you, and everyone look them up.